to season 2 of We Knew the Moon. I'm here with Tracey. Hi, Tracey.
Hello. So excited, Dee. Season 2. Can you believe it?
So Tracey's got an amazing gift shop, Miss Pretty London. And my name is Dee, and I work with businesses and charities, planning events, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we are so excited about season 2. So those of you who know us, season 1 was all about the moon. We love the moon. We're big fans. But as a result of doing all those episodes on the different phases of the moon, on what it means when, the full moon is in a zodiac sign, for example, loads of other moon-related things, lots of other things popped up that we were really keen to know more about, right, Tracey?
It raised so many questions, Dee, and so many avenues. Instead of going off on tangent, we did say, I think we were good at staying focused on the moon in season 1.
Season 2 is all about those rabbit holes and those tangents, right?
Yes, rabbit holes.
I'm really excited to say that today this episode is about numerology. So all through season 2, all through our guided meditations, on our social media, we post regularly, don't we, about different numbers that are supposedly related to the full moon in Aries or the new moon in Pisces or whatever. And in all honesty, we didn't really know very much about numerology. And we wanted to know more. So we thought that we would do an episode on numerology. And I'm so excited about this.
So Dee will be hosting this today, as we always give role of teacher and student. So Dee is teacher today. I'm student. I've had no prior research, something I don't bond with very well or associate with. So Dee is going to convince me that numbers play an important part in our life and spirituality and how it works and what it means, etc.
I'm going to pass on what I've learned and everything, and then maybe at the end we will decide where we think we stand on it. Numerology is a funny one for me because I love numbers and I love coincidences and things pop up and so forth. It's not something like you, Tracey. It's not something that I've previously held much value in spiritually, shall we say?
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly it. I associate it with maths, actually, Dee.
So we'll talk about that in a bit. What's the difference between numerology and just numbers? But I love when numbers do cool things. I don't know if you remember the Fibonacci sequence at school. And when I do a spreadsheet and it does cool sums, I'm like, yay, winning at life. So
Dee loves the spreadsheet.
I do.
For those that don't know already.
But in terms of looking out for numbers, part of me is like, well, when you're looking out for it, you're going to see it more. So I don't know, is what I'm saying, whether there is something in it or whether when you pay attention to something, you notice it more. So let me just start from the beginning. So numerology is a study of numbers in your life. So according to Wikipedia, that #1 reference source, numerology is any belief in the divine or mystical relationship between number and one or more coinciding events. And one of the key beliefs in numerology is that the universe can be broken down into key elements, i.e. numbers. So each person has different numbers in their life, like their life path number, their heart number, etc., etc. So what does that mean? Excuse me while I nudge my dog because she's snoring.
I can hear her snoring. It's so cute.
Can you hear?
That gentle purr of Lola snoring away in the background.
Lola's not a fan of numerology. It's put her to sleep. So the history of numerology, it can be traced back to about 4,000 years ago. First record of numerology is, like with many things, the ancient Egyptians and the Babylonians. There's also evidence of people believing in this link between numbers and the spiritual in ancient Rome, in ancient Greece, China, Japan. So again, it's something that's not culture specific or time specific. We're all familiar with the concepts of having a lucky number or unlucky number. It pops up in religion with, the number of the beast and the number of Jesus and blah, blah, blah. It comes up a lot. I've also made notes of some references to it in popular culture. So numerology is a topic taught in arithmancy class in the Harry Potter series.
Is it in Harry Potter? So it is very magical. I have this very strange mental kind of tick that, if it's around in the Egyptian times and it's transitioned and lasted through all these generations and years and still remained the same, and that goes for anything, whether it be numerology, the moon, oils, crystals. If it's lasted the gift of time, there's got to be something in it, right?
Yeah.
If it hasn't been proven Okay, but it hasn't been disproven, and that's an important bit to remember as well.
Exactly. And whether it's based in fact or not, there's something in it that makes people want to believe it for so long, right?
Yeah.
I've also made a note of famous numbers. So in Christian numerology, so like we said, there's the number of the beast, 666, the number of the beast. What I didn't really know was that the number 888 represents Jesus. The numbers 3 and 7 hold strong spiritual meaning in the Bible. The most obvious example would be the creation of the world in 7 days.
Ah, there you go. There's the logical meaning.
And you know how many people have lucky 7, lucky number 7?
Yeah.
Jesus asked God 3 times if he could avoid crucifixion and was crucified at 3 p.m. Who knew?
Wow.
Probably all Christians, but I did not know. 7 is a length of famine and other God-imposed events, and is sometimes followed by the number 8 as a symbol of change. Some of the core beliefs, numerology core beliefs, is that the cosmos and your life is affected by your birth date, your birth name, and other factors.
Is this why you asked for my birthday sneakily in a week? Have you calculated my destiny?
I have calculated your destiny according to numerology, so I'm going to tell you both mine and yours in a bit.
Oh.
Numerology believes that there's no coincidences between the universe and yourself and what happens on your journey. So your name and your birthday will affect the characteristics of your journey. So kind of like astrology, but with numbers. In the same way that you look at horoscopes and astrology to interpret your future, you can do that with numbers based on your birthday and your name. So all numbers have positive attributes and negative attributes, or as I prefer to say, the light side and the shadow side. We've talked about this when we've done our guided meditations, when we've talked about numbers associated with full moons and new moons. There's normally 1 or 2 characteristics that you should kind of watch out for to make sure they don't become negative.
Yeah. Maybe numerology is one of those things that you've got to be open-minded to and just accept that number 3 does mean this. Just like in your tarot, wands mean this and this colour means this. It's all kind of that logic of, well, that's just how it is. Accept it, Tracey.
The one thing I would say is that it was super fun looking at my numerology and your numerology as well. There's a website I use to calculate all of this stuff. You can do it yourself, but I'm lazy and don't trust my math skills. So calculator.numerologist.com.
Was it easy to do, Dee?
Yeah, you put in your name and your date of birth and it does all of the numbers for you, which is really cool. Oh. We're going to start with life path number. So this is the main number, and this is normally the number people mean when they talk about your number. And it's calculated by adding up all the numbers in your full date of birth. So my birthday is the 8th of April, 1983. So what you do is you add 841,983 together. You'll probably have a double digit. So you add those 2 digits to each other again. And you keep on adding the digits to each other until you're left with one number. My number is 6. People that have the number 6 as their life path number are sensitive, empathetic, humanitarian, wise without judgment, adored.
Wow.
Put others first, but can be left feeling drained. Now, that for me is very much, I feel like that is me.
I'm very shocked because I think every single thing there does describe you. Yeah. In fact, if you go back to our very first season 1 episode where Dee and I described each other in 3 words, I think some of those words were used there to describe you.
So this numerologist, calculator.numerologist.com website also gives a little blurb. So what it has said for me is that number 6 makes me a nurturer. Your compassion, reliability, and trustworthiness are your greatest strength. You are naturally sensitive and tend to take care of everyone around you. You make a great teacher, manager, or humanitarian. And it's quite cool because it tells you romantic matches are 2s and 9s. I forgot to check what Paul is.
Oh my goodness, Dee, the first thing I'd be doing is getting Michael's birthday and doing the calculation.
I know, I forgot. I normally do. Famous 6s, Christopher Reeve, who's obviously Superman. Totally cool with that. Albert Einstein and Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cute?
What do you reckon? I'd take that, Dee. I think that's good.
Yeah, happy with that. And best friends with number 1s. Tracey, what do you think you are?
Am I a number one?
You're number one.
Am I?
Yeah, but weirdly, your best friends are not number 6s, which is what I am.
Oh no, dear.
You've clearly got a different best friend. I'm okay with that because I'm sensitive without judgment.
Maybe the calculator went wrong somewhere
Yes,
there.
Obviously. So, Tracey Pretty, your life path is A1. So that makes you a born leader.
Oh.
Your strength, ambition, and independence are your greatest strengths. You're excellent at decision making, and you make the most out of every opportunity, which I 100% see you as. You might not see yourself as this, but this is definitely you, because I've always admired how good you are at thinking on your feet, like business-wise with all these
Blagging, Dee. Blagging is the word.
Successfully pivoting and adapting. You'd make a great entrepreneur.
Oh, there you go.
What are you? You'd make a great entrepreneur, CEO, or politician.
Oh my goodness.
Tracey for local council.
Do you know, I do have a thing where I'm banned from watching the news in our house because I always like to have an argument with the news, particularly around politics. And I always think I could probably do it better. What I wouldn't give for a conversation with a politician. So, yeah, very accurate.
So that just made me smile because 100% that's you. You're so strong and so ambitious and in the loveliest way. And like I said, just really good at making the most of the situation and taking opportunities. And like I said, changing, pivoting to suit the current environment. So yeah. Romantic matches. So check. We got to go as soon as we're done recording.
Right onto this website. Yeah.
3s and 5s. And your best friends are 2s and 7s.
See, they meant to put a 6 there. I'm sure they did.
I'm sure they average out to a 6, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need any of those, just a 6. Famous ones, you're going to like this. Lady Gaga, Martin Luther King Jr., and Tom Hanks.
Really? Yeah. Now, I do really like Tom Hanks. It's funny, I was watching him on TV the other day, and when you're watching someone, you're just mesmerised by them, and I was just infatuated by what an interesting person he was. I never realised.
Well, there you go. You've got a number affinity with him.
That's really interesting, isn't it?
Isn't that fun? So just remember, you're a 1 and I'm a 6, and that's our main numerology number. Because I'm going to talk about some of the other numbers that you also might hear about or want to look into.
So we have more than...
You have more than one number, yeah. Isn't that cool? How I made sense of it, right? You know how in like astrology, you've got your sun sign and your moon sign and your rising sign and your, all of these other things. That's how I kind of view these numbers. Think of your life path number as your main number. And then you've got other ones that affect different elements of your life.
Right. So like your outer personality and your drive and your love. And
So your life path number is the most important number, who you are or should be in your personality and your traits. The next number we're going to look at is your expression number, which is your abilities, your desires, and your personal goals. That feels a bit like maybe your moon sign, related to your moon sign, like a kind of...
I would say that's your Mars. Mars is to do with your work. Would it be Mars?
Yeah, that's true.
Mars energy drive.
And, maybe they don't have direct relations, but anyways, you get the idea that the different numbers, different elements of your life or different
aspects of your personality.
Yeah. So this one is calculated using numbers, but using your full birth name, including any middle names. And Tracey and I both learned that neither of us have a middle name, do we?
No. Always felt a bit left out on that, but I'm glad I never got given a middle name because they were thinking Catherine with a C after my grandma, which means my initials would have been TCP, which is why they quickly took it out.
You allocate a number to each of your letters in your name. And then, like with the life path number, you add them all up until you have a single digit. Now, again, you can go onto that website, calculator.numerologist.com, and it will work it out for you. There's different charts to allocate numbers to your letters in your name. And the most common one is called the Pythagorean numerology chart. So do you remember Pythagoras from school? Pythagoras theory?
It sounds like it's getting complicated.
No, it's not. I'm not going to talk about triangles or whatever it was. But basically, there's different charts that you use, and the Pythagorean one is the most common one. Let me just tell you about the expression number. It highlights your natural talents and your abilities. It's often called your destiny number because it reveals a great deal about your potential and what you're meant to accomplish in this lifetime. So it's quite fun, isn't it?
I love a bit of fate and destiny, Dee.
So my expression number is 5. And guess what yours is? It's also 5.
Really?
Yeah. So
we're both on the same timeline of fates and destiny.
Well, we both have the same characteristics with regards to our fate and our potential.
Does this mean that we're going to be 2 old ladies sitting in a chair one day recording our podcast?
I mean, anyways, that's going to be the case. Number 5 is basically when you have number 5 as your expression number, you are a free spirit who's driven by variety. You effortlessly adapt to change, and others tend to find you fresh, fun, and exciting. That's totally us, right?
Yeah. Wow, hopefully.
Well, I mean, I hope that people find us fun and exciting. Hopefully the people listening to this at the very least do. Otherwise, why are you listening to us?
Yeah.
You know, I definitely think that both of us are really good at pivoting and changing and adapting. Because,
and I think we're good at seeing the positive in stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. That to me is ringing true, right?
I'm really getting convinced by this.
Okay, so this is quite a fun one now. The next number that we're going to look at is called the Soul Surge number. How cool a name is that?
Oh, what does it mean? It's
also called the Heart's Desire number.
Okay.
So that explains it a little bit better, I think. But Soul Surge is just a cooler name. So it's a reflection of your inner or true self. So maybe this is like moon sign,
Venus,
right?
Or moon, yeah.
Yeah. The most interesting thing about the Soul Surge number is that it often reveals a truth in people that they only recognize once a reading is completed. So it's kind of like shadow work, which we're going to cover in a future episode, where you might not even realize this about yourself until you start doing things like looking at the numerology and being told, this is you, by the way. Which, you know, is possible. A lot of us are not very self-aware. And,
no. If you want to increase self-awareness, record yourself. Huh? Like we're doing now, and listen to yourself or watch yourself. It's very interesting practice to watch how you think you are to how you actually are.
So it represents the inner you and exposes your hidden motivations, your deepest cravings and your urges, along with your likes and your dislikes. So again, this might very much like with shadow work, it might be the side of us that we don't want to look at, we're embarrassed to look at.
This is the juicy number though, isn't it? This is the one you calculate of all the people you want to get to know. How do you get that number then? Is it from the name again?
Yeah, so it's from the name again, but you're only counting the vowels, the values of the vowels. And if that results in a double digit, you're adding the 2. So mine equals 26. So then I add 2 to 6, you know, until you get a single digit, and mine is 8.
What does that mean?
So you like to do all the things in your life in a very grand way. Others admire your determined spirit and the way you achieve your goals. I'm happy with that. You know?
True. Dee is very driven. She's very Aries, always getting up early and doing stuff, even in a lockdown.
Your Soul Surge number is... sorry, I've been saying Soul Surge. It's Soul Urge.
Oh, no, we've changed it now. It's Soul Search. I like that better.
No, it's cute. So your Soul Surge / Heart's Desire number, Tracey, is number 9. You have a thirst for knowledge and usually act on unique, idealistic, and altruistic ideas, meaning you're helpful to others. Others consider you very caring and grateful.
Oh,
which I think is totally
not that shadowy at all, is it? It's quite nice things it tells you. Yeah.
So then the next number is the personality number. So this is a side of you that you allow people to see.
Right. So this is like your sun sign.
Yeah. In turn, this shows how others see you. It reveals what your friends and your strangers think about you. And it illuminates your dominant traits and your personality characteristics that influence the way you are perceived by others.
Maybe more your ascending sign then.
Maybe. Now, the way you work this out is with your birth name, your full birth name again. But now we're only counting the values of the consonants.
Right.
So mine equal 24, and then I add 2 plus 4 again to equal 6. So I think it's quite interesting that this one about how people perceive me and my life path number, which was also 6, they're the same.
So you're on track.
Well, I like that because I hope that means that the way people perceive me is the way I actually am. And they don't have to be the same, but it'd be interesting to see how similar your personality number and your life path number are, or how different they are. If they're very different, then what's going on there that people are viewing you in a totally different way than what you are? Are you doing that on purpose? Is there something about the way you act that makes people misinterpret you because you're not
you're
like
on
that?
the wrong track somewhere.
Yes. So again, number 6 in your personality number, it means that you're likely a very responsible person by nature, but that doesn't mean that you don't know how to have fun and enjoy your life. I like that.
I think that sums Dee down to a T, to be honest. Definitely. Because you always like to go out and see and do new things, but in a very planned, responsible way. So
totally me. Organized fun. I'm like a Monica.
Organized fun. That's exactly it.
So Tracey, your number is 5.
Ah.
It's different to your life path number, but that's not anything to be concerned about. Number 5 means you probably like to have a lot of freedom and variety in your life, and you often change up how you show yourself to others. Now, there was talk of variety in your life path number as well, and in some of your other numbers. So this is very much all correlating and working well together. So, yeah.
See, the thing is, I'm an empath, so I'm very chameleon-like in my nature because I portray what I think people feel they need to feel better and worry what people think. So I am a bit of a chameleon in
so that's
my behaviour around people. And there's a lot of Scorpio in my sign, which we talk about, don't we, Dee, of like this sort of inner little stinger sometimes comes out, which is unexpected. So there are definitely elements in that I think are quite true.
So then the last type of number I'm going to talk about is your birthday number. So this is the day of the month that you were born. But again, if it's double digits, then you add them to each other until you get a single number. So mine is the number 8 because I'm on the 8th of April. And your birthday number explains the nature of your existence.
Oh, so it's just the actual day, not the whole... Okay.
No, it's just the actual day of the month that you're born. But again, if it's a double digit like yours, you add them to each other until you get a single digit.
Yeah.
This unveils your gifts, talents, and even your entire life's purpose. So this number feels like kind of a big deal. It explains how you handle opportunities and challenges. So mine's 8, because I'm the 8th of April. You think big and attract many opportunities for putting your visionary plans into action. So again, it ties in with the last, my soul surge number about acting quite grandly, which I do. And then for yours, like I said, if you have double digits, you add them to each other. So yours is 1.
I had number 1 for something as well, didn't I? For
your life path number, your main number is 1. Yeah. You are ambitious and motivated no matter what career you pursue. So again, that relates very much to the life path number, that reading that you had. You excel in situations where fast, decisive action is needed, which again is totally the role of the CEO, the entrepreneur, having to pivot, adapt, and whatever. Those of you who know Tracey in her, as Tracey Pretty from Miss Pretty London will know that her business is constantly adapting to the crazy couple of years that we've had recently. So, that's totally you.
Oh, so, this is a very good soul searching exercise, isn't it?
Fun. So I'm totally going to delve in a bit.
To know yourself or stalk others and get to know that stranger.
Like he's a 3.
Yes. We all did that when we were younger, though, reading each other's horoscopes and stuff. This is like the adult version of that, it feels.
Exactly. And doing compatibility charts as well, like between different zodiac signs and like, oh no, whatever, I can't be with him, Yeah. We've all done that. So you can do that with numbers if you want as well. I'm going to go through the different numbers now and give a little indication of what they mean. If you calculate your different numbers, you can know roughly what that means. Some of the information I got from Cafe Astrology, which is an amazing website that we both love, isn't it?
Love that website. It's So much on there, so much useful info.
So much. If you need to like lose 6 hours of your life, go on Cafe Astrology, right? So 0, sometimes this isn't included, but I want to include it because it was discovered by the Arabs. So I'm very proud of the number 0. It seems obvious to us to have a number 0, but for a very long time, people didn't have a number for no number, if that makes sense. So
Really?
you had no way of describing that, like, for example, you have 3 cows, but I don't have any cows. There was no way of saying that.
Seems like a really obvious thing to have, but I can understand why maybe not. Yeah.
If you keep seeing zeros, don't change anything you're doing. This number is associated with being entirely on the right path and with heading towards the best version of yourself. It's a particularly reassuring number to see when you've been doubting yourself or your abilities. How cool is that? So, number 1. Seeing number 1 suggests that you might be struggling with negativity. Plus, since you create your own reality, this number is a reminder that you may accidentally be creating more negativity. So you might be somehow attracting the negativity yourself. Other qualities associated with this number, though, are strength and leadership. So now we're going through the numbers a bit more with a focus of when you see them popping up a lot, rather than them being one of your life path numbers.
Where would you see them pop up, though? On the microwave door?
Yeah, people are like convinced that they look at their phone and they see the same numbers every time. Or, maybe you're doing your accounts and it keeps on coming up. And again, it's a case of like, is this number popping up a lot or am I noticing it more because I'm looking for it? But then if I'm noticing it more, is there a reason why I'm looking out for it? You know?
And everyone has their deity. Everyone has their signs and symbols. And I think that might be part of the problem here with me is that numbers aren't my sign or symbol. I have different ones, like feathers. Dee has crow stalkers, don't you, Dee? They're still following you everywhere, the black crows.
Everywhere. So.
That's Dee's symbol. But I'm sure, if a number kept popping up as much as I see feathers or Dee sees crows, and you'd start to realise it's a thing. It's just, is it your symbol or have you got a different...
I tell you what, we let's, now that we're learning a bit more about numerology, let's see if we notice anything over the next few weeks and report back. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try.
So 1 is obviously a leader number. This is why, for example, when you had it as your life path number and your birthday number, it was all about taking charge, making decisions, because it's the leader number. It has the ability to stand alone. And it's ruled by the sun. So numbers can be ruled by different planets as well.
See, my ears have perked up more. Yeah. And also they're on tarot, which I'm sure ties in with this.
Exactly. And we're going to be doing an episode on the tarot cards as well, where I'm also going to be talking about the meaning of the different numbers. So the key words for number 1 is independent, creative, original, ambitious, determined, self-assured. If expressed negatively, so the shadow side of the number can, without balance, can become arrogant, stubborn, impatient, self-centered. No. So number 2, again, when you think about it, you can see how these definitions came about, because number 2 is all about balance. If you're in a time of conflict and you keep seeing number 2, things will get better. So it's the mediator and the peace lover, and it's ruled by the moon.
See, I love that. 2 is my lucky number. That's my number. But only because ducks are my favourite bird. And so, number 2 in bingo, they say, I actually like 22 because it's 2 little ducks.
Well, bear that in mind when I talk about master numbers in a little bit. Okay.
Oh, what's your number, Dee?
My lucky number's always been 6. Which is my life path number. So
that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think I picked it because it's the number of the beast. But whatever. So keywords for number 2: diplomatic, warm, peaceful, and sensitive. If expressed negatively, can be too dependent, manipulative, and passive aggressive. I wonder if I've got a bit of number 2 somewhere in my.
Passive aggressive is my middle name sometimes.
Passive aggressive is mine. Number 3 indicates sources of love and wisdom are nearby, associated with luck and good fortune. So number 3 is a sociable, friendly, and outgoing vibration, kind, positive, optimistic. It's ruled by Jupiter. If expressed negatively, can be extravagant, scattered, superficial.
Mm.
So number 4 represents stability and routine. If you're seeing it a lot, you may be playing things just a little bit too safe. So maybe it's time to take a bit more risk, because number 4 is a worker, practical, love of detail, ruled by Uranus. So maybe if you have too much 4 popping up in your numerology chart, or if you're seeing it a lot, it might be telling you you're being a bit too safe. If expressed negatively, it can be contrary, stubborn, and narrow-minded. Number 5 is a really nice number. It's because it's associated with adventure. And it often appears when you need to start listening to your senses, i.e. your 5 senses and your body, and also to the people around you. It suggests you may go on a journey, whether that's mental, spiritual, physical, and it's a freedom lover. So it's ruled by Mercury. It's got a very strong intellectual vibration. The keywords are adaptable, freedom-loving, romantic, resourceful, witty, fun-loving, curious. But if expressed negatively, it can be non-committal, irresponsible, and inconsistent. Maybe it's having too much fun.
I'm just picturing a dancing number 5 there.
Yeah. So, and these tie in, like you said, very much to what they mean in tarot. You know, number 5 is a very exciting card to get in any of the suits when you're doing a tarot reading. Number 6 in tarot is the number of the lovers. So in this way, if you keep on seeing the number 6, it might be a sign that you need to embrace inner peace and self-love. So love of yourself. This is the peace lover. It's ruled by Venus. Which is
of course. The self-care number then, huh?
Right, exactly. The keywords for this number are compassionate, stable, family-loving, trustworthy, domesticated. If expressed negatively, though, it can become superficial, jealous, possessive, unwilling to change. It's my number. So number 7, I remember at school, everyone's lucky number was 7, right?
A lot of people have 7, don't they? Yeah, they do.
Intimately connected with new opportunities, especially ones that you weren't expecting to come your way. This is has a very spiritual vibration and is ruled by Neptune. So the keywords are unusual, introspective, intuitive, wise. And if expressed negatively, it can become melancholic, odd, leaves too much to chance, hard to reach. Weird one, isn't it?
Quite a distant, dreamy one.
Yeah. Well, it's deep thinker. It's a deep thinker number. So deep thinker.
The Pisces of the numbers then, hey? The creative one.
Yeah, and the spiritual one, which, deep thinker can easily become the distant dreamer, right?
Yeah.
Number 8. So I did know this, that in China, 8 is an incredibly lucky number.
I like 8. I do like the number 8. I like the look of it. It's a cute
number. Yeah. It pleases my OCD, the way it's so round and
it's
similar.
It's a good one to draw as well, isn't it? To write down 8.
So it's often a symbol of abundance and prosperity.
There you go. That's why I like the number 8.
That's why I like it, yeah. It's the manager. It's strong, successful, and it has a material vibration. So probably the Taurus in you and the Taurus in me are attracted to it. It's ruled by Saturn, and the keywords are ambitious, business-minded, practical, authoritative, successful, courageous, accomplished, organized. But this is something for us because we like the number 8 so much and it rings so true to us. If expressed negatively, it can be tense, narrow-minded, materialistic, and forceful.
Wow, there you go.
No comment.
On a bad day.
And finally, number 9, linked to compassion and empathy. If you have this in your numerology chart, you might be a natural empath. If you're seeing it in your life, then there's a good chance you're bringing a lot of good into the lives of others.
Oh, that's lovely.
Lovely. This is the teacher. It's tolerant, somewhat impractical, and sympathetic vibration, and it's ruled by Mars. So the keywords are humanitarian, sympathetic, helpful, emotional, determined, but again, if expressed negatively, financially careless, over-emotional, sullen, restless. So not one that you want to let slip into the shadow side.
No.
So you remember I told you to remember your, lucky ducks?
Yes, my number 22, yeah.
11 22 and 33 are considered master numbers. So if you add all your numbers together, like your full name or your life path number, the numbers of your date of birth, you get 11, 22, or 33. One school of thought is that you don't then add them together, like you don't add the 1 and the 1 together to get a 2. You leave it as 11 because that is a master number. You don't add them together, you keep them as they are. Master number 11 relates to instinct and faith. Similarly, it can signify fear and anxiety. Number 11 is the innovator, and it's got an unmistakable streak of humanitarianism. How lovely is that? Oh. I love that phrase, unmistakable streak of humanitarianism. Number 22 is the master builder. It's a powerful indicator of ambition and success. Number 22s are idealists and visionaries, but they manage to keep their feet on the ground. So that's quite a good combination, isn't it? Of having amazing ideas, but actually carrying them forth into reality.
Yeah. Rather than describing it as a duck.
One thing that I have not really got very involved in, but see a lot, on all our spiritual Facebook pages and whatever, is angel numbers.
Yeah.
And they start making a little bit more sense now that you understand what people believe about the numbers themselves. So it's the fact that you're seeing repeating numbers that becomes significant, and people attribute different meanings to these different numbers. So for example, 11 is very often associated with the angels. So if you're seeing 11 or 111, or you look at your phone and it's 11:11 a.m., that is very often associated with the angels trying to tell you something. So the more ones you see determines the strength of the message you're receiving. So if you see multiple ones, it's telling you that your intuition is functioning at maximum capacity and that you have a deep well of inspiration to draw on. How lovely is that? Mm-hmm. So basically, if you're seeing loads of ones, it's telling you, trust your intuition, trust your gut.
But you have to be open to seeing them. And I think that might be a key thing as well. I've realised during this recording, I don't actually glance at the time or the date that often. So
maybe you're a bit number blind.
Not open to numbers in my life. Yeah. But now I'm frantically looking for ones. Like, where are they?
And like with any kind of divination system, I think it's also a lot about how we're interpreting things.
Yeah.
How we interpret them. This might be a bit of a controversial view, but rather than these numbers telling us the future, how we interpret it tells us a lot about ourselves already. Definitely helps your mindset if you're looking out for positive signs more than the negative. I always relate it to that scene in Friends. I know I've said it before on the recordings, that scene in Friends where Monica is getting married and Rachel thinks she's pregnant, and at Monica's wedding, they do the pregnancy test in the bathroom. Do you remember?
Yeah, I love this scene. It's very true though, isn't it?
Right? And Phoebe reads the test results and she pretends to Rachel that she's not pregnant. And Rachel gets sad about it. And then Phoebe says, no, you are pregnant. I just wanted you to know how you really felt about it. And that to me is kind of a little bit like when you're doing readings or interpreting signs in whatever way, how you choose to interpret it is a really good indication of what you want in life. And therefore, in itself, it's really, really powerful tools. If you want to believe that ones are really lucky and a really useful thing to be seeing, and then because of that, you notice a lot more, and then in turn, that makes you luckier because you're more open, then great. That seems like the opposite of a vicious circle, right?
Yeah. I love that day. Do you know, I think I'm convinced. I quite like numerology.
It's definitely fun.
There's a lot more to it than I thought.
Yeah. So have a little, let's see if because of this, we notice a lot more numbers. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Our next episode is going to be Tracey teaching us about, what are you going to be teaching us about?
Twin flames, kindred spirits, soulmates, all that shebang.
I'm
quite
so
a personal journey, this one as well. So it could be an emotion episode, but I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. Hopefully it's a bit of therapy as well to maybe go through some bits out loud might help with this journey.
Think but most podcasters will agree that podcasting is totally therapy for us.
So it could be a bit of an emotional one, but I hope you find it interesting. I've done a lot of research on this topic and it's one that's quite close to my heart. So hope to see you for that episode. Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. enjoyed that and you want more from us, why don't you head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/We Knew the Moon, and check out some bonus content.
Also, if you want to stay up to date, you can follow us on our Facebook page at we.knew.the.moon. If you could leave us a review on our Facebook page, that would mean a lot.
Our Instagram handle is the same as our Facebook, at we.knew.the.moon. We're on Twitter at We Knew the Moon 1, and we are also on Pinterest. Just search for We Knew the Moon.
Finally, if you want lots more fun, moon info and all things spiritual, plus our lovely shop, please visit our website, wenewthemoon.co.uk.